Alright, here are my thoughts on Secret of the Mimic. So, Steel Wool, they're a VR studio, right? And they're known for making VR games. Me personally, I like Help Wanted 2 and Help Wanted. They're two of my most favorite games in the franchise. But that's not detracting from Security Breach or Ruin or any of their PC games, you know? Now going into this game, I expected kind of the same as Security Breach, the free roam aspect with a large map where you can explore and find a bunch of hidden clues or details like Steel Wool usually does. And yeah, they definitely fulfilled those aspects. Going into it, those were my expectations, and I'm happy to say that they were met. I like this game. The map was cool. I love the way they designed the factory and MCM, and the voice acting was phenomenal. I love the way they voiced Edwin and Fiona and David. We got voices for all three of them. Now, one thing I will say, I wish there were more Mimic encounters. There was one, the first encounter at the beginning in the elephant costume was a nice surprise. I thought that was going to be a little bit later in the game. I also like the mechanic of Mimics spawning in random costumes that keeps you on your toes. Now, one thing I would suggest to make it a little bit more frightening is that if you walk by a costume, there's a chance that you could see like a little orange flicker. That Mimic could be actually hiding in a costume, and if you walk by the costume that he's hiding in, like you get like a short cut scene like where he grabs you and stuff and you get away, and then you have to start like running or something like that. I also like the mechanic of the data diver or data driver, whatever it's called, where you are forced to use the upgrade stations in order to progress. That, you know, I like that. That way you can't just easily cheese through the game and just speed run. I was expecting the Jackie Jackie mini boss fight to be a little actually at the end of the game, believe it or not. Now, one thing I will say, it was a little bit unclear on what was causing the animatronics to suddenly go haywire. I'm not sure. I don't think the game made it clear enough whether it was the animatronics themselves just going haywire or whether it was the Mimic taking control, etc., etc. With Big Top, you know, it was it's hard to tell how the Mimic can, you know, fit inside that. Also, speaking of Big Top, I was gonna say his section was probably my favorite. I did like the idea of playing the games, you know, those little games, and then at nighttime, they all turn evil. It's a little hint to Sun and Moon. We'll talk about those guys later. But yeah, also this game wasn't too long. You know, one thing I was worried about was that the game would be a little bit drag on too long and people would get bored, etc., you know, waiting for the endings and all that. But no, this game was about 3 hours. It wasn't that long at all. That's good length for a game. I think Security Breach was around 4. So yeah, you know, they're staying true to their MO, if you will. If I had to give any complaints, my only complaints, I guess, would be it's a little bit, I feel like there needs to be a little bit more of a threat with the Mimic. I feel like make the Mimic more active or maybe quicker, or make it so that you can have the Mimic, you know, you have to be able to discern whether it's the Mimic talking to you or the actual, you know, dispatch. You know, we find that out later, but you know, I feel like that could be something cool. Now, one thing I loved was Tiger Rock. That Tiger Rock segment was probably the coolest thing and probably the most frightening, not frightening, but definitely the creepiest and quote unquote scariest segment of the game. That was my favorite segment. Not sure what the deal is with Tiger Rock, whether he's a hallucination, a ghost, whether he's real, etc., but those will be in theory videos later on. Anyways, those are my quick thoughts on Secret of the Mimic. I can do a full analysis later on, but I just wanted to get those thoughts out to you guys. Anyways, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.